Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 11:07 p.m. I'm your favorite Dark Sorcerer, Michael Hyson, aka Angelus Son of Abaddon, and I want to welcome you to this Dark Sorcery channel. Those of you who are unaware, this is an educational group, but it is also a group of practices and fellow mages and sages. Okay, sorcerers and sorceresses. Okay. Um, Founder, you know, Alfredo Martinez, and our brother DH Thorne. Got to give them credit, props for the way they've taken this channel and really built it up. Good job, guys. It's an awesome thing you're doing. Keep it up. And second of all, to I want to take a moment to discuss some questions that have been coming up a lot over the last few weeks. Why sorcery? What gets you into sorcery, okay, or any form of magic? All right. Well, first of all, while I've been at work the last few days and over the last couple of weeks, I've been getting a lot of questions. What do these mean? What does this mean? Some people know what they are, others pretend to be stupefied or they become simpletons, charlatans, even. Okay, those who are associated with the JCI or those who are looking to expand their horizons. Okay. A lot of people have had a lot of good questions. Some are even asking questions about what got you into sorcery? Why did you get into sorcery? How long have you been a practitioner? To what do these mean? What do they represent? What type of magic do you practice? And what attracted you to it? You see, these are all very, very good questions. And I think that a lot of people that start asking these type of questions is unsatisfied with their current state of affairs. A lot of them are from, say, Wiccan or pagan practices looking to gain real results in their sorcery, their magics. Or they're from the JCI, the right hand path practices, such as Hermeatics, Klopothic, or just plain Christian, Catholic, that are unsatisfied with their state of affairs and they want a career change, so to speak. And I've told them, I've asked them questions. I said, why do you want to know about this stuff? Obviously, because of the cross around your neck, you have JCI, okay? Judo Christian Institution, okay? Of some form or setting, okay? Be it Baptist, Apostolic, Pentecostal, Catholic, Jehovah Witness, Mormon, okay? Or Scientology, if you wish. Perhaps even Masonic or Masonry, okay? And so why would you want to get into this stuff? What caught your attention about it? And a lot of times they've seen my tattoo of Astaroth, the sigil of Astaroth on my arm, or they've seen the Orcrox around my fingers. Because at where I work, I don't have to hide them. It's completely accessible, applicable, even. It's religious tolerance, okay? Where everybody has a freedom to express who they are, which is awesome, okay? But it does come down to the type of work that you do. If you work with a conveyor belt, obviously, you can't have these things out. You can't be wearing these because they get caught and they become a life-threatening tool. Okay? But these questions have really developed from various different people. Some are old timers who, you know, the elderly. When I say old timers, I'm not speaking about elderly. Okay, I'm talking about these old timers that grew up in the '60s, the '70s, and they were diehard Christians, or they were warned. They were drug addicts, or they were into gangs and all this stuff, and then they've kind of grown up and kind of grown out of them. But then you've got these religious and zealots that are diehard. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of related to through my son, related to people who are diehard Christian. They basically are just shunning you because they don't want nothing to do with you on that aspect. Okay, whereas other people will look at you and go, "Hey, how do I do this? How do you do this? How do you know about this? How can I get into this? I'd like to know more." Okay, and this literally is opening up a doorway. Okay, and chiromancy, this is called portal opening. It is known as a gateway. You're basically opening yourself up to greater prospects. All right. And in this case, this is a way for somebody like myself or Alfredo, Kari, DH Thorne, whoever. Okay. You can go into EA Coetting, you can go into S. Ben Cayenne, Michael W. Ford, Anton Zandelave, um, say Eliphas Levi for an example, or let's go with Francis Barrett if they were still around today, or Crowley. And you know, ask them questions. This allows us to share with you our personal experiences and where our practices have led us. Okay, what attracted us into dark sorcery and magic. Okay, and one of the questions that came to me personally was, what got me started in this? What got me interested? And I told him, I said, well, when you're 5 years old and a spirit visits you, lets you know, hey, I'm here. There's a reason for that. But when this child doesn't know anything about the JCI or any form of religion, and you go to your parents and you say, hey, who's Lucifer? Well, how do you know about Lucifer? Number one, you don't watch TV. You don't go to church or know anything about Christianity and the way things are. Nobody's talked to you about these individuals, beings, but yet you know about them. Certain information is shared through mediumship, and you end up going to church for once or twice, okay? And you ask questions, which you shouldn't do because that pisses them right off, okay? So you end up getting shunned. See, that was 25, 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, okay? And when you're 5 to 8 years old and you're watching your friends get on a bus and they come back a couple hours later, you get curiosity going here. You know what I'm saying? So you get into that. You go and you find out they've been going to Sunday school, but yet you start asking questions and you're told not to come back. Like I said, that was back then. But now is a whole nother ballgame. People are interested. They want to talk about it. They want to learn. They're more open to it. So when you ask about something, you're literally opening yourself up to these prospects about spiritualism, spiritual warfare, dealing with protection, offensive and defensive tactics. personal growth through various different means. Okay? Because keep in mind that sorcery in itself, well, let's just say Christopher Penziak said it best. You can ask 100 witches what witchcraft means to them, and you're going to have 100 different answers. Okay? This is because these questions and these practices are unique to the practitioner. You take me for an example. I'm more of an educator. Okay? I am a practitioner that deals with a lot of different things of demonic activity, possession, divination, witchcraft, necromancy, Satanism, devil worship. Okay? But then you can take, say, for an example, let's go with Kari Darkstar. Okay? Her work within spiritualism. She's more spiritual, more open to it. Okay? Working with bone castings and other things. You know, Alfredo Martinez, the founder of this channel. Okay? I've seen quite a few of his videos where he's explaining how to cleanse something or how to create or charge an Orcrox. Okay? To set up an altar, how to keep the currents flowing and unblocked. Okay? He's not only an educator, but he's also somebody who literally gets his hands dirty and gets down into business. All right? So you've got a lot of different types of workers. So the first thing you need to do is ask questions. You need to ask the right questions. Okay? Hello, Seeking Serpent, John Saunders, and salute. 367. What's going on, guys? Now, by asking the right questions, you begin your journey. Okay? By asking about these and the representations, you're wondering how these can be charged. You're wondering perhaps what their symbolism is, what they represent. Sigil of Lucifer, Bearer of Light, Draconic, Necromancy, Witchcraft, the Magic of Horus, the All-Seeing Eye. Okay? And most importantly, your native ancestral lineage. Okay? But it doesn't stop there. Orcrocs come in different designs, different patterns. You can have one with serpents on it. You can have one that has different, say for an example, an entire finger ring, you know, that has a big giant skull with flames. Okay. These things represent different things from devildom, okay, to becoming a demonilator, to becoming a spiritualist, dealing with different orders, different sects of beings. It's not just about protection in energy raising. Okay? There's a lot that you're opening yourself up to, and it all begins with asking the right questions. Why do you want to know? The most obvious. Okay? So when somebody comes to you and says, hey, why this? What is that? Why do you want to know? What's attracted you to it? Asking a question with a question is a wizard tactic. Okay? The old wizards would ask questions with a question because they want you to think, they want to challenge you. A lot of times they speak with riddles, and you have to be the one to figure that out. Today, we don't have to worry about that. The only thing we have to worry about is keeping our noses clean. You know, don't get put into an entrapment, so to speak. You know, allowing yourself to befall a division or adversities. Okay? Getting together with like-minded individuals is a good thing because you get to learn from each other, okay? To continue your personal evolution, self-growth. Working with demons, the term daemon means protector, guardian. Angelics are teachers, educators. Look at Zazazel, okay? Azazel, the teacher of alchemy who taught men how to forge weaponry. Alchemy, okay? Taught women herbalism, how to paint their faces, the art of seduction, okay? Look at Zaniel, an angel, taught men how to practice witchcraft, teacher of witchcraft. Aguileret, the keeper of the secret tomes. Humet or Humot, depending on the century and the terminology, okay, of the spelling. Bringer of books, materials, any source of information the practitioner desires. You see, first, you have to ask the questions. Why me? What attracts you to this path? And then you can go into what are these about? But the biggest questions you have to ask yourself, by knowing where you are today, where do you want to be down the road? Where do you want your sorcery to take you? Do you want to be one of those individuals who get into it and realize, well, I'm okay, this didn't really work. The spell didn't work. I'm going to go on to, say, Christianity, or say Wiccan practices, pagan practices, or maybe Satanism, the jinn magic, draconic magic, getting into Fey lore, folklore. Okay, a lot of people are in it for the fame. They're in it for the fortune. Very few are in it for the actual practice and evolution, self-growth. Perhaps it's because they're young. Who knows? But you got those who are just simply making a mockery of things. So obviously the witch's creed, also known as the witch's pyramid or the witch's oath, really does apply. You don't want to reveal too much, but you also don't want to reveal too little. Think of it as when you get into a path working, you're with somebody who wants to know about this stuff, but they're from a different tradition. Okay? Obviously, if somebody has a history of betrayal, you're not going to reveal anything to them. So if you have somebody who's earnestly wanting to learn or claims to want to learn, you can teach them, but keep in mind two things. One, are their words aligning with their actions? Basically meaning, are they not just speaking, but also doing? Okay? This is one of the things I like about Dark Sorcery, is it's a group of educators. It's common goals. A group of men and women who have come together to further sorcery, to learn from one another, to literally transform themselves into becoming better. And it always starts with asking the question, or in this case, questions. What has attracted you to this path? What is it about dark magic that you want to get a part or want to be a part of? And where do you want it to take you? A lot of times it's these Illuminati wannabes. Other times it's people playing a game. Hey, how do I do this? But then they try to flip it on you. And then you become the bad guy or bad woman. So you really have to discern and use your intuition when dealing with people. Doesn't matter if it's customers. It doesn't matter if it's fellow practitioners. When I look at somebody's profile, I always go down through everything. Number one, who are we friends with? Who are our mutual friends? Are you true to who you are? Meaning, are you posting photos? Are you actually showing your learning through actual knowledge practices? Okay? A lot of times you're going to see people who claim to be practitioners just sitting there self-glorifying themselves. This means nothing but photos. Nothing but photos. But then you got those ones that are showing their altars. They're showing photos of their ritual workings. They're talking about where their practices are taking them. Over the last 4 months, I've shown numerous videos of actual facts on necromancy, Satanism. I have a Satanism series. I have a necromancy series, a witchcraft series, and I just started a series on sorcery, okay, on my own channel. But here's the kicker. Most people don't want to do this because they don't want to go beyond those questions. We're all searching for something. We're all seeking answers. But we're also seeking benefits as well. Some will utilize the sorcery to gain money, monetary gain. Others are using it for power. Others just want to experiment. But it comes down to you as the individual and what questions you ask. And it always starts with you. When I first got into sorcery, any form of magic, I started out in vampirism, which is a part of gothcraft. Started wearing all black. I started being more nocturnal than being in the daytime. I hated the light, especially the more angry I got when I was growing up. But it wasn't until I had my first spiritual experience that I started asking the right questions. I got into Satanism, necromancy, and witchcraft. Found a few good teachers throughout the country. People who taught me, not just from the JCI aspect, but also in shamanism, witchcraft, necromancy, voodoo, voodoo, hoodooism, Santa Morte, Santa Maria, Santa Palo Mayumbi, and all these other crafts. Okay, even Druidism. My path has taken me into so many things. And somewhere along the line, as you're asking these questions and you're growing in your own path workings, going to whatever attracts you and incorporating it into your own code, your own path working, you're going to see that you're developing a code of conduct. You're going to be developing a philosophy, and you're going to be developing aspects of power, totems, the 7 forbidden arts are there for a reason. Why are they feared? Is it because they actually work? You see what I just did there? I asked a question. Do you fear them because they actually work? Okay? By asking the questions, you're opening up those doorways. You're getting into a serious study, a serious practice. And Danny Chen, welcome to the group. These are things that must be done. And it all starts out with you. Every path is different. My path led me into the dark sorcery aspects. Anything to do with personal power, personal gain, personal knowledge. To me, knowledge is power. Okay? But also through rituals, I'm able to open up the doors, to do things, to manipulate currents. And that is because I've asked the questions. I've dared to associate myself with beings far more superior than myself. I've learned from other mages, sages, wizards, sorcerers, and sorceresses over 30 years. These are things that take time. Today, everybody's in a hurry. They want a quick fix. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work for it. To quote the JCI Bible, if you do not work, you do not eat. So ask yourself this: why do you want to get into sorcery? What attracted you to sorcery? And most importantly, where do you want to be and where do you want it to go? What is your ultimate goal within sorcery? It's not about power and fame. It really is not. It's about evolution of the self. Lucifer is the aspect of enlightenment, the revealer, the heir of enlightenment. There's a reason why he has his own throne. There's a reason why he has his own kingdom. A bliss, same exact thing. He chose to leave. He wasn't cast out like Lucifer. No. He chose to be equal with us, men and women of clay. He didn't want to bow down. He wanted to be equal. And he created a kingdom to where we all can associate together. But you got to ask the questions. A bliss asked, why? Lucifer asked, why? And we all know what happened to them. Look at all the old gods that have been cast aside. They chose to ask questions, and they were shunned. Orion, the Horde of Mazda, Satan, to Jehovah, Lucifer to Michael. Everybody's trying to be dominant, but nobody's taking the time to associate and ask questions. Not many people dare to ask questions because they don't want to be seen as the bad guy. They don't want to go against the current because that would mean they would be shunned. You see, the left-hand path is not a herd conformity. It's a solitary practice. And that's what people fear. So start with asking questions and see where it takes you. Explore those questions. Don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and ask the question. And definitely don't be afraid to do the work. I guarantee it, you'll benefit from it far times more. But you got to do the work and you got to ask the questions. They go hand in hand. They have been for centuries, like the master to the apprentice. Plain and simple. So I want to thank everybody who's participated in this video. And exactly salute to know, to dare, to will, to keep silent, and to go forth. plain and simple. Until next time, have a good night.